So while I was away, we had this, I know people laugh at me when I say it, but it's the right word. We had this Kafka-esque moment where during another one of these half sold out public events with Donald Trump and disgraced former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly, Donald Trump said, vaccines are good, and I got the booster. And the crowd started booing him. And Dr. Anthony Fauci was on CNN over the weekend, and he was asked, what did you make of that? And basically, Dr. Fauci couldn't believe how stupid Trump supporters who booed are. Now, that's my characterization, to be clear. Dr. Fauci's words were a little softer. He said he was dismayed and he was stunned. Now, at this point, being stunned by what Trump supporters do, we're kind of long past being stunned. We're going to look at that clip in a moment. But as a reminder, here's the moment from the Trump-Bill O'Reilly event at which Trump and O'Reilly say, we've gotten the booster, and the crowd boos, and Trump tries to calm them down.
But look, we did something that was historic. We saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. We, together, all of us, not me, we got a vaccine done, 3 vaccines done, and tremendous therapeutics like Regeneron and other things that have saved a lot of lives. We got a vaccine done in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take from 5 to 12 years. Because of that vaccine, millions and millions of people, I think this would have been the Spanish flu of 1917, where up to 100 million people died. This was going to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now. Take credit for it. Take credit for it. What we've done is historic. Don't let them take it away. Don't take it away from ourselves. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
Okay, so the president made news.
Do you agree with that? Right?
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't. That's all. It's a very tiny group of it.
Okay, so there it is. Trump vaxxed. Trump boosted. It's an accomplishment. It's great. And the crowd is booing. Fine. So Fauci also in this clip that we're going to look at was asked about the Candace Owens Trump interview, which we looked at earlier in the show, in which she does the anti-vax stuff. And Trump goes, no, the vaccines are good. So I played that clip earlier, but just as a reminder, so we have it all in this clip, here is that clip again, which Dr. Fauci was asked about and will react to.
We see the corruption, right? It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption.
Yeah.
And right now we're seeing corruption live, even in terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom. But at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children?
Okay, so that's the material. Those are the 2 clips that Dr. Fauci is asked about. And he was asked about it yesterday on ABC. So check out what Dr. Fauci had to say.
You know, it was interesting on this question of vaccination. I'm sure you saw President Trump, former President Trump, came out and said that he had received the booster shot. He actually got booed a little bit by the crowd of his supporters as he said that. And now, there's another interview he just did with a conservative outlet with Candace Owens, where he really pushed back on the idea that the vaccine is not protecting people. He said that the people going to hospitals are the ones largely that haven't been vaccinated. You don't die if you get the vaccine. Those were Donald Trump's words. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if his supporters listen to that.
Well, I certainly hope so, John. We'll take anything we can get about getting people vaccinated. I was a bit dismayed when former President Trump came out and made that statement and his followers booed him, which I was stunned by that. I mean, given the fact of how popular he is with that group, that they would boo him, which tells me how recalcitrant they are about being told what they should do. And I think that his continuing to say that people should get vaccinated and articulating that to them, in my mind, is a good thing. I hope he keeps it up.
Yeah, let's hope he says it loudly.
Now, yeah, Trump telling people to get vaccinated is basically a win-win unless you want Republicans to die. And I know some of you do, but that's not my thing. Okay, so I'll explain. Some of Trump's followers are going to hear Trump say this stuff, and they will actually go and get vaccinated. And as a result, fewer people are going to die overall, and that's good. And some of the Trump supporters that go and get vaccinated will also prevent spread to some degree. And it's a good thing from a public health standpoint. So some people will be convinced because Trump said this, and that's fine. The ones who won't do it and who get mad at Trump for saying, hey, the vaccine's good, they may become so furious and disaffected that they might abandon Trump in 2024 if Trump runs. And that's also a good thing because it might weaken a possible Trump 2024 run. It might embolden a serious, viable primary challenger to Trump in 2024 if Trump does run. And that can only be good for the left if the left knows how to take advantage of it. Now, some of you might say this is the third option, right? Some of you might say, David, this is bad. We want Republicans to die. I don't want anyone to die. So I see this as a good thing all around. And maybe it will keep us making progress on the pandemic, which, by the way, with how contagious Omicron is, it appears as though we are going to make progress regardless of what anyone wants to see. And we're going to have an update on that either tomorrow or Wednesday, again, once we get the latest data from the holiday weekend. Now, what Trump could have and should have done would have been to keep being pro-vaccine on the way out of office. Like all along, he could have said, hey, I'll be gone, but you got to get those vaccines. And of course, he didn't do that, and it's too late to go back. But if Trump had maintained this sort of perspective or had this sort of perspective as he was leaving office and in every single interview that he did just after leaving, it probably prevents a bunch of these Republicans from becoming so anti-vax in the first place. But that's the ideal. We're not in the ideal scenario, obviously. So this is another example of when the monster's creator loses control of the monster that they created, and there's no way to undo it. There's no sort of putting the genie back in the bottle or whatever analogy you want to use. So very interesting, and Fauci visibly stunned by what we saw there. A few things I talk about frequently. Government surveillance of private citizens, big tech corporations following you around online, tracking done by ISPs of users. All of these parties can see things that you're doing online if they can see your IP address. That's why you should hide your IP address using Atlas VPN. It's only $1.39 a month. You install it, click one button, it stays on, and you forget about it. Masking your IP address like this also lets you watch content on streaming platforms only available in other countries. It's really easy. It also helps keep you safe from hackers and online identity theft. You can use Atlas VPN's data breach monitor to see if your personal info or passwords have been exposed in online leaks. And don't forget, you can also give Atlas VPN as a gift. Atlas VPN is having a special holiday sale. You get 86% off, comes out to $1.39 a month. Plus, you'll get 3 months free. go to atlasv.pn/Pacman and use the promo code Pacman.